Did you watch Powell and Donald Trump in the hard hats?
Yes. Okay. It was a fun moment, I felt like.
Let me play you just a clip. Yesterday, Donald Trump went to the Federal Reserve. First time, I think, in 2 decades that a president has made an official visit to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, it was George W. Bush, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he comes in and he's getting a tour in hard hats throughout the Federal Reserve because they're making a $1.5 trillion renovation of the Federal Reserve. $1.5 trillion.
No, not trillion and a half.
No, sorry, billion and a half. Sorry,
because that would be an awesome building.
I know, but billion doesn't sound like a lot anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so $1.5 billion renovation. So Donald Trump said yesterday that he redid the old post office and made it into a really nice hotel. And remember, bathrooms and kitchens are the most expensive. It had like 200 marble slabbed bathrooms in it for $200 million. So this is quite the renovation that the Federal Reserve is doing on your tax dollar.
And you can complain, you might say, oh, Donald Trump, all the people on the media like, he doesn't know enough about this and he doesn't know enough about that. He knows enough about this.
Yeah, he does.
If there's anyone who knows how to renovate a building, it's probably him.
Okay, so listen, here is the back and forth between Trump and Powell.
It looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that
So he takes out. No, that's what it is. And he takes out a sheet. He's like, "Here, Powell. Here it is."
I about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2. This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
Awkward.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them.
But we're ready for them with our tax dollars. Okay,
that's an amazing clip for 100 different reasons.
Yeah, right. And when they first met, I don't know. Do we have the video of him just getting slapped on the back? Let's look at this. Wow.
Like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you?
Wax him on the back.
Wax him on the back. Okay. This is Donald Trump. This is the way that visit was all about intimidation. Okay. Mm-hmm. The slapping on the back, the aggressive handshakes that he gives. Okay. I mean, that's the guy he is. And it's just the guy he is. And he dominates a room. You walk into any room with Donald Trump, even before he was president, he controls the room. He just does. He's a guy who just walks in and all the oxygen goes right to him. It's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, these are old school power dynamics.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
but they work.
They work, yeah.
They work.
I mean, because you watch that clip, there's no reason to have that moment in front of cameras.
Nope.
That was a moment. Correct me if you think I'm wrong.
Planned.
Yeah, I was going to say. Do you think it was planned? Because
absolutely.
Number one, he does it in front of cameras. He's saying basically there's a massive cost overrun by the guy he's standing next to in front of cameras, which would be an embarrassing moment for this guy in theory. Then he also has a letter in his jacket to pull out when he says no, that's not happening. He pulls it out.
He knows that's coming.
Now look. The building was finished 5 years ago. It is
what his point was. You're right. But it was his point was this is part of your renovation.
Right. But it's not new.
I know.
I mean, it's not a new cost overrun the way he's presenting it.
Yeah.
But he's doing that intentionally because it's old school power dynamics, right? Because this seems to be something that Trump thinks about a lot for a lot of different reasons. This is
you think? Well, so let me show you what he did. What he's doing here is the same. What has he been saying about Powell?
He's been saying he needs to. He's
resign.
Dumb. He needs to resign.
He's dumb.
He's saying he's dumb. We have a dumb person at the Fed
right.
who's not lowering interest rates.
That tactic, the best example of that tactic is Little Rocket Man. Look at Little Rocket Man. Yeah, well, Little Rocket Man, maybe I'm just going to have to wipe him off the face of the earth. And then what does he do? He goes where no president has ever gone before, to Little Rocket Man's space, and sucks all the oxygen out of that room, okay? And stands next to this giant standing next to Little Rocket Man. Did you notice how big Trump looked next to Little Powell? I mean, it was almost the same power dynamic, okay? And Powell knows. Trump, I think, is older than Powell. And look at how young Trump looks next to Powell.
He does look younger, yeah.
So he's been saying Little Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man. He then goes to the place where Little Rocket Man is, in this case, the Federal Reserve. And then what happens? What is he saying today? You know, I'm not going to fire Powell because I think he's going to do the right thing. I mean, we had a really nice meeting. And, you know, while those cost overruns are important, I think he's got it under control. I think he's going to, I don't know if there's a reason to investigate.
Gives him an out, basically.
Gives him a complete out. He has hit him hard. Then he meets with him and hits him hard again in front of the press. I can guarantee you they had a delightful conversation behind. And we're now in that place where it's lather, rinse, repeat. You don't repeat if everything is, your hair is clean, right? You don't have to do it a second time if everything is fine. So he'll do that. Lather, rinse. Am I going to repeat? Do I have to repeat? Because I'll repeat. We'll go back to lather. I just rinsed. I lathered up. Yesterday we rinsed. Are you clean enough now, or do you need to repeat this cycle? That's exactly what he's doing.
And he's kind of also giving him the message that I'm going to make your life a living hell every day until
and
you do
he's
this
doing
thing.
it in Powell's space.
Yeah.
There's something about doing it in someone else's space shows you do not have fear.
But he works on both sides of that, right? Because he does sometimes go into their space and do this type of thing.
Yeah.
But also, and this, because when I was watching this interaction, it reminded me of something you talked about when you were in the White House, of the way he's designing the White House. He's thinking about these old school power dynamics constantly when he's designing what the White House is like.
So he is, because this really bothers me, because America we don't have palaces for our president.
Right.
Okay. And he's putting gold everywhere. And I didn't say to him that, hey, the gold thing, maybe you should cool your jets on that. He brought it up to me. And he said, look at the gold. I mean, this is beautiful. And this is it's 24 karat gold. Is that the best 24 karat, 12 karat? I can't remember, but it's the most expensive kind of gold. Okay. It's not like spray paint gold. It's not Babylon. It's actual gold leaf, really, really expensive. And he's paying for all of it. And he said, you like this? I'm going to gold leaf. Basically, I'm thinking about gold leafing Melania soon. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this is not a palace. And he almost sensed this, I think, from me. Yeah. He said, I know we don't have a palace, but everybody from foreign countries that comes in, they are around palaces. They see power a certain way. And he said, so I want to make sure when they're sitting in here, they understand this is the most powerful room in the world in every language that they might speak. Okay? So he's doing all this to as a way to intimidate again. And if you look at it, you would think United States is broke. I can't believe they're gold leafing. No, they're not. He is. So he's not only saying this is the most powerful office, but I'm putting gold all over it because I'm wealthy and powerful, because unlike maybe you, Macron, I wasn't in politics. I went out and actually built giant buildings in the biggest city in the world. Okay? So he's again exercising a power dynamic. And when you watch him in those meetings where Notice he has press conferences with these guys. How do we usually announce big things with countries when their prime minister or their president comes over?
We put them up as equals. They each get one question.
Right, back and
their
forth.
Media
right?
gets one. Yeah.
You get the president on one side of the room and the foreign president or leader on the other side of the room. They back and forth, and they're equal, and the flags are there. Not with President Trump. Very few are getting that. They're all sitting down in his office, in that intimidating space, and a gaggle comes in. And he's like, hey, I want to introduce you. Here's the president of the Philippines. He's a great guy. We're doing some great stuff. We got this new deal, blah, blah, blah. And maybe the president of the Philippines will get one question.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Like, so are you really the president of the Philippines? Okay.
Is that really a country still?
It's still a country. I didn't know that. So maybe he'll get one question. But then that guy has to sit there uncomfortably while the president is answering questions about the world, about the country,
Elon Musk, or whatever else is going on in his life. Yeah.
He has nothing to say, so he just sits there as a secondary. That, again, is a negotiation tactic. Donald Trump, people don't think he thinks about this stuff. They don't think he's a deep thinker, because of his language. But I think his language is also a choice. His language is a choice. One, I know he can, he understands big words. But he speaks the language of the common man for a couple of reasons. One, I believe that was the language he learned in construction with his father, because he had to start working at the bottom. You want to build a hotel, son? Great. Then you need to know how the air conditioning handlers work. In fact, you're going to go down and work side by side, and you're going to help build them. So he grew up in the business world talking to those guys. That's why those guys love him, because he speaks their language. Also, have you noticed Donald Trump has started to let the F-bombs fly? Now, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Did you see what Joe Rogan was just saying about Hunter Biden? He was just saying, the guy, he doesn't care. He just uses the F-bombs like everybody else does. And that was endearing to Rogan and also The Atlantic. That he doesn't care. He just is who he is. Well, Donald Trump is showing you a little bit more who he is, where he wasn't in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Now he's speaking the language because I believe our culture is, not in a way I like, but our culture is changing, and he is adapting to it as well. The guy is brilliant. I wish I could spend a month with him, because I think I could write a book about Donald Trump and how he thinks. Just spending a day with him a few weeks ago and hearing how he spoke about every piece of art in the White House. He selected every piece of art and where it should go. And it was to clarify who he is and what he wants to accomplish, remind him what his job is. So all the way from his bedroom, all the way down to the Oval, the art on the wall is to remind him of who he is and what he's doing. If you're on a tour, you come in and you see Donald Trump on one wall, and he selected Barack Obama for the other wall. George Bush doesn't even have a painting in a bathroom. He put Barack Obama there as a symbol of, we're a country that is split, but this house brings us all together. Would anyone ever give him credit for thinking that way? He's thinking about what the message is on the tour. He's really brilliant. And I think that's why things are changing so rapidly, is because he knows how it works now. He knows the game he's playing. He's learned it. He's mastered it. And now he's just executing one after another. Check, 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 check. And look at the results in 6 months. This weekend is officially 6 months in. He's accomplished more than I think any other president has accomplished in maybe their full term in 6 months. Now, I'd like to see it codified, but if he had a Senate and a House that were actually, doing the business of the people, it would be codified.